Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into the life and legacy of an actress who, well, she truly captured people's attention for decades, didn't she? Especially with one unforgettable role.
Absolutely. And we've got quite a bit to work with here. Biographical pieces, some financial data, interview transcripts, and of course the recent news reports about her passing.
Right. Our aim, as always, is to pull out the really key insights, maybe some surprising facts, and give you a clear picture without, drowning you in information.
And this one feels particularly timely, maybe a bit poignant. We're starting with the sad news that Loni Anderson passed away on Sunday, August 3rd, 2025. She was 79.
Yeah, and what really strikes you is the timing. It was just 2 days before what would have been her 80th birthday on August 5th.
So close. It adds a certain, resonance to looking back at her life now.
It really does. And while, many people instantly think Jennifer Marlowe, the blonde bombshell from WKRP, what really comes through from digging into these sources is just how many layers there were beneath that image. I mean, demanding a pay rise mid-show back then. That took guts.
Oh, definitely. And her honesty about her marriage to Burt Reynolds, which was so public.
Right. And even her early life, which seems surprisingly grounded compared to the Hollywood persona. There's just a lot there.
Her publicist, Cheryl J. Kagan, who was with her for a long time, confirmed she passed away in an LA hospital. It was after an illness described as both prolonged and acute.
And her family released a statement, naturally expressing their heartbreak. They mentioned a private service plan for Hollywood Forever Cemetery.
They also requested that, in her memory, people consider contributions to the National Lung Health Education Program or maybe the American Cancer Society.
And that connection, the lung health program, it really ties into her later life, her advocacy work, which we'll definitely get into.
It absolutely does. It connects back to her own family history. So, Loni K. Anderson, born August 5th, 1945 in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Minnesota, right? Her dad, Clayton, was an environmental chemist, and her mom, Maxine, was a model.
She grew up in Roseville, Minnesota, and she described it as a lovely childhood. Lakes, fishing, even snowmobiling. Sounds quite idyllic, actually.
It does. And what's amazing is this drive she had from such a young age. Apparently, she knew she wanted to act from age 3.
3?
Yeah, like before her family even owned a television. She'd watch shows at her grandparents' place, then go home and act them out.
That's incredible.
And then when they finally got a TV, she was about 5. She started putting on shows in the garage, charged a nickel admission.
A nickel! See, that entrepreneurial spirit started early.
It really seems like it. She knew her worth, maybe, even back then.
That's a really interesting observation. That sense of maybe self-value seems to run through her story. She went to Alexander Ramsey Senior High, then the University of Minnesota in '63, studied art initially.
And she was, well, quite the pageant queen.
Yeah.
She paid her way through college by winning beauty contests.
Yeah, Miss Roseville, Miss Thermojack clothing. Quite a list. She was even runner-up for Miss Minnesota.
So she was already comfortable in the spotlight, just maybe not acting yet. And interestingly, she still had dark hair back then.
Right. The famous blonde came later. She also had her first marriage quite young to Bruce Hasselberg in 1964. They had her daughter, Deidre, but they divorced in '66. And Loni actually took a teaching job to support herself and Deidre while she finished college.
That shows real resilience, doesn't it? Juggling single parenthood, work, and studies.
Absolutely. Then in the early '70s, she started getting into acting more local commercials, theater, still a brunette at this point.
So the Hollywood chapter begins a bit later. She married Ross Bickle, another aspiring actor, in '73.
Yes, and in 1975, they made the big leap, moved to Los Angeles. Apparently, they only had enough money saved for about 6 months' rent.
Wow, that's a gamble. A huge leap of faith, really.
It really is. You have to admire the courage or maybe the sheer determination. And it's around this time she dyes her hair blonde. Her trademark look is born.
A conscious choice for Hollywood, you think?
Oh, almost certainly. It fit that sort of screen siren mold of the era. And her first gig in LA, a part on SWAT.
Okay.
And get this, she was in the same episode as Farrah Fawcett.
No way. Talk about rubbing shoulders with icons right off the bat.
Right. But the real breakthrough, the big one, came in 1978. That's when she landed Jennifer Marlowe on WKRP in Cincinnati.
Ah, Jennifer Marlowe. The role that made her a household name. The show's creator, Hugh Wilson, apparently saw something of Marilyn Monroe or Jane Mansfield in her.
He did. But what's crucial here, and this comes through in interviews, is how Loni shaped that role. Jennifer was written as this beautiful, maybe slightly aloof receptionist.
Using her looks to manage the phones.
Exactly. But Loni insisted, before she even signed on, that Jennifer had to be portrayed as intelligent and sensitive, too, not just, window dressing.
That's fascinating, especially for that time for a female character in a sitcom. She really advocated for the character's depth.
And it worked. I mean, yes, she instantly became a massive sex symbol, that bikini poster. One of the best-selling posters of the entire decade.
Unbelievable. But she managed to balance that with the character's intelligence. She got Emmy nominations, Golden Globe nominations.
2 Emmy nods, 3 Golden Globes. So the industry recognized the performance, not just the image.
And she definitely knew her value. Remember that walkout in 1980?
Oh, yeah. Summer of 80, she was earning, what, $20,000 an episode?
Which was good money then, but maybe not superstar money yet.
Right, and she demanded more. Walked off the set until the network agreed to her terms.
Bold move. Seems to fit with that 5-year-old charging a nickel for her garage shows, doesn't it?
Huh. It really does. There's a consistency there. The show ran until 82.
And she always spoke so warmly about it, called the cast family. So it was like a first kiss, that kind of special experience.
She mentioned they all stayed close, emailing frequently, and how rare that kind of bond is in show business.
So what do you think made WKRP stick around? Why is it still a cult classic? She said it was good comedy, stories that weren't just simple jokes.
I think that's spot on. You look at sitcoms that endure, they often have that strong characters you care about, relatable situations, maybe a little heart alongside the humor. It wasn't just set up punchline, set up punchline.
Right. It had a bit more substance.
Exactly. After WKRP ended, though, her career path wasn't quite as meteoric for a little while.
Yeah, things seemed to slow down a bit initially. She did play Jane Mansfield in a TV movie in 1980.
Right, the Jane Mansfield story, and she did other TV work like Partners in Crime with Linda Carter.
Oh, I remember that.
A guest spot on Spielberg's Amazing Stories. TV movie versions of A Letter to Three Wives. Sorry, wrong number.
She also did voice work, right? Blondie?
Yeah, Blondie Bumstead and a couple of TV things. And she was the voice of Flo in All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Oh, Flo. Okay.
She apparently said voice acting was fun, but she kind of missed the energy of working with other actors face-to-face, and especially that live audience feedback.
That makes sense, given her theater background and the sitcom experience. She seemed to thrive on that interaction.
Definitely. Then she starred in an NBC sitcom called Easy Street in 86-87, ran for 22 episodes.
Okay. And the 90s saw a bit of a critical comeback, as one source put it.
Yeah, she played Thelma Todd in a TV movie, White Hot, The Mysterious Murder of Thelma Todd in 91. That got some good notices.
She even revisited Jennifer Marlowe briefly in the new WKRP in Cincinnati.
She did 2 episodes. Then she had a main role on the NBC show Nurses for its final season, 93-94.
Played the hospital administrator, Casey McAfee.
Right, but the show got canceled, low ratings apparently. She kept busy, though, guest spots on things like Burke's Law, Melrose Place.
Melrose Place, wow.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Pamela Anderson's show VIP.
Quite a range. And she kept working into the 2000s and 2010s, too.
Guest roles on Three Sisters, a lead role on a sitcom called The Mullets. Played Tori Spelling's mom on So Notorious, popped up on Baby Daddy, My Sister Is So Gay. So definitely a long and varied screen career.
Absolutely. But alongside that career, her personal life was often, well, very much in the public eye.
Especially her marriages. 4 in total. Bruce Hasselberg back in the 60s, Ross Bickle in the 70s.
Then the really high-profile one, Burt Reynolds from 88 to 94.
And finally, Bob Flick, whom she married in 2008 and was with until the end.
She had her daughter, Deidre, from her first marriage, and she adopted her son, Quentin, with Burt Reynolds.
And she was quite open about Deidre being diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, which, again, shows a willingness to share personal challenges.
Definitely. Now, the Burt Reynolds marriage, that was huge news. They met making the movie Stroker Ace in 83.
Right. And their relationship, the wedding, the marriage itself, it was pure tabloid gold for years.
And the divorce?
Yeah.
Notoriously messy.
Extremely. Bitter accusations, custody battles over Quentin. The settlement was rough on Reynolds financially, too.
Yeah. He had to pay her significant spousal support, around $15,000 a month back then.
Which is like $30,000 today, easily.
And keep paying the mortgage on their massive Beverly Hills mansion. Reportedly put a huge strain on him as his own career was cooling down.
It all played out very publicly. Accusations of a painful and substance abusive marriage. It was headline news for years.
And Loni wrote about it in her autobiography in 95, My Life in High Heels.
She did. She talked about the trauma of my marriage to Burt, but also said something quite telling. If you're going to write about yourself, you have to do it warts and all.
That takes courage, laying it all out there like that.
It really does,
Yeah.
especially given the level of scrutiny.
And her reaction later when Burt Reynolds famously said Sally Field was the love of his life, Lonnie's take on that was just fascinating.
He was incredibly perceptive, wasn't it? She basically said Burt, being this total actor, producer, director type, he always lived in the movie.
He lived in the movie. Wow.
Yeah. And she saw his comment about Sally Field as just being like the best end to the movie he was scripting in his head.
So she didn't take it personally necessarily, more like she understood his storytelling nature.
Exactly. She even pointed out that the love of his life list seemed to change over time, mentioning Dinah Shore, Lorna Luft.
Oh, right.
She called him a romantic and a storyteller in that weird way. Said he even produced their entire wedding like a movie production. It suggests she had a really clear-eyed view of him, the persona, and maybe the person underneath.
That's remarkably insightful. And maybe a bit sad, too, but definitely insightful.
It really makes you think about celebrity relationships and how much performance might be involved, even off-screen.
Definitely. Now, financially, she seemed quite secure. Her net worth was estimated at $12 million when she passed.
And after the divorce from Reynolds, she bought that French-style mansion in Mulholland Estates in '94 for about $2.3 million.
The one Burt had to keep paying the mortgage on.
That's the one. She ended up selling it in 2007 for $5.7 million. Quite a profit.
Good investment.
Seems so. Then later in 2007, she bought another place in Schumann Oaks for $1.9 million, sold that in 2015 for $2.1 million. So clearly managing her finances well.
It points to that independence again, doesn't it? Beyond the Hollywood glare, she was also an advocate.
Yes, this ties back to that mention of the National Lung Health Education Program. Her parents were both chronic smokers and suffered from COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease.
Oh, okay.
She described seeing them struggle, saying things like, "I can't breathe, I feel like I'm drowning," just devastating effects.
Horrible.
So, witnessing that spurred her to become a spokesperson back in 1999, raising awareness about COPD, turning personal pain into a public cause.
That's really powerful, using her platform for something so personal and important.
It really is. And she also shares some reflections on acting itself, the stress, the constant rejection.
What was her advice?
Her take was, when you face rejection, try to see it as the people who rejected you lost. Reframe it as their loss, not your failure.
That's actually really good advice.
Yeah.
A way to build resilience in a tough business.
Yeah, a mental tool to keep going. And she also spoke about feeling more liberated as she got older. She mentioned guest co-hosting on The Talk and realizing, at this age, I don't care about being judged anymore. I say what I think.
Oh, I love that. That sense of freedom that can come with age and experience, especially after decades of being judged so publicly.
It's a wonderful place to arrive at, isn't it? True self-acceptance. She's survived by her husband, Bob Flick, her daughter, Deidre, and son-in-law, Charlie, her son, Quentin.
Grandchildren, too.
Yes, grandchildren Mackenzie and Megan Hoffman, and step-family Adam, Helene, Felix, and Maximilian Flick. A full family legacy there.
So looking back, Loni Anderson really did navigate a complex path. Iconic roles, yes, but also the harsh realities of Hollywood fame, that intense public focus on her personal life.
Absolutely. And that line between the screen persona and the real person sometimes seemed, well, incredibly blurry, especially maybe during the Burt Reynolds years.
It makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
About the personas we all present, maybe not on screen, but in our lives. How much is the real us? And how much is the story we tell ourselves or the story others tell about us?
Or, as Loni put it, how much are we living in our own movie? Her journey definitely highlights that tension between the curated image and the complex reality underneath.
It really does. Behind the glamour, you find this story of resilience, of choices made under pressure, and this ongoing negotiation of a personal narrative in the full glare of the public eye. It kind of leaves you wondering, how much of our own lives are we directing and how much is just happening?